What's up everyone? This episode is going to be about my first ever bikepacking trip back in September 2022. My buddy Marc was cycling from Frankfurt to Istanbul at the time, and I decided to tag along from Vienna all the way to Belgrade. We started off with a little train delay to Vienna, so by the time I caught up with Marc, there was not too much left of the day. We cycled around 50k and we had to cycle quite a bit through the dark until we got to a camping spot. Day 2 was where the trip really kicked off. We crossed into Hungary through Bratislava, following down the Danube. It was quite a flat and relaxed day, and it was really good to get into a rhythm of long distance cycling. We ended up covering around 117k before we found a little farm where we could put up our tents.
Tag 3 für mich, Tag 17 für dich. Und du fährst am liebsten gerade Strecken, an denen sich nichts verändert, ja? Ja.
Day 3 was a little harder. We pushed through 105k of headwind. It also started raining later in the day. We were quite soaked by the time we reached Budapest. So we decided to stay in a little hostel where we could dry off, wash our clothes and get some rest for the next day.
Maci. Liegt es am Verlinker?
Our way to Hata, a little town down the Danube in Hungary. We were looking for a camp spot that we saw on maps, but it turns out that one didn't exist. So we decided to take a little break, have a coffee and come up with a new plan. While we were sitting there, we decided just to ask an older man that was walking by, who pointed out that there's a camping spot just behind the trees down the road. We could have easily just went past it if we hadn't stopped for that little coffee break. And it turned out to be probably the nicest camping spot that we found during all of the trip. The next day was probably the hardest one. We crossed into Serbia. We were heading to visit the parents of a friend of mine in Sombor, but the route took us through some muddy fields, and it must have rained the night before or something, because the consistency of the mud was perfect, stuck to the tires and built up between the tires and the frame, and it took us forever to get out of it. In the end, it was just 70k cycle, but it took us the whole day until we got to the parents. But they were the sweetest people. They had food prepared for us. We had some raki with them, and in the morning the dad even showed us around the town. He took his little city bike out and gave us a little sightseeing tour of Sombor, which was just awesome. My final day was 130k from Sombor to Belgrade. It was also one of the most scenic days. We went through some beautiful countryside, small villages and some vineyards. Once we made it to Belgrade, we spent a couple of days exploring the city. I still had to get a bike box to pack up all my gear and take it back on the plane. Marc continued his journey through the Balkans, through Greece, to the coast, and in the end all the way up to Istanbul. Shout out to my buddy Marc for letting me tag along on his adventure. The guy's an absolute beast. Thank you all for checking out the video, and I'll catch you later.